Hello all and welcome to a new episode about Cattitude Local Adaptive Machine Translation, the computer-assisted translation tool I developed myself. Today we're going to translate a short file from the Battlefield franchise by Electronic Arts. It's got, as you could just shortly see, a 111 words. This you can see in the count file, which is a file which is automatically made by Cattitude as soon as it reads a project directory. There you go, it's 111words.count. It's nothing special really, because if I open this with Notepad, there you go, it's just a normal text file. So I entered the project directory name. Here is it going to be translation from English to Dutch, and there we go. The first line, get board game with EA Play, is literally translated as krijg meer game met EA Play, but this is a bit literal. And actually above here we can see an almost exact match. It's a fuzzy match, 98%. Apparently this line has been translated before, actually on 1 October 2020 to be precise. And the only difference is that the full stop here behind play has disappeared. So let's just copy it by pressing Ctrl up arrow and just delete the full stop at the end, and there you go. Speel meer met EA Play sounds a lot more natural. Below you can see the changes I made. What you can the upper line is the fuzzy match Cattitude came up with, and this is the current status of said line. Okay, that was an exact match. That was an exact match too, and then we arrive at line 4. Why you should join EA Play. And what you see here is a patched match, meaning that it's not an exact match, but Cattitude has actually found exactly this word order in an existing match. And previously, you just had to believe Cattitude when it said that. But if I wanted to know a bit more about matches like these, I wanted to know where they came from, which client database, when was this translated, and I also wanted to know the source of the match that was generated here. As you can see, when I now hover my mouse above it, I get all this info. The original sentence of this line was why you should join EA Play on Xbox One. So you can see the only difference is the wording on Xbox One at the end. This came from the EA Battlefield franchise, from a file called dprojects EA wordb battlefield 909954bf5_po, etc, etc. And this was translated on 17 September 2020 at 8:59 in the morning. So the only difference, as said before, is the fact that on Xbox One at the end has been taken away. So if I do exactly the same in Dutch, then we should have more or less a perfect match. Waarom moet je lid worden van EA Play? This is correct. It's patched, but it's now correct. I've edited it. And I go Control down, and there we go. Okay, now, did you notice how fast this went? Because when I went to line 5, the machine translation more or less appeared immediately. Now, how come? Because maybe you remember that in the past, you saw this this icon, you saw it moving while Cattitude was actually thinking. Well, this is because of a new feature. It's called caching. And what it basically does is, I'm just F5ing now. While I'm translating this line, basically Cattitude is just idling. So why not use that time more usefully and already look up the machine translation and match, possibly fuzzy or exact match from the memory while I am working on line 4. Why not? When this feature was not there yet, basically what happened is I would just enter, go to the next line, and then you can see, it takes some time to get all these results. Maybe 2 to 3 seconds. And now, here above, finally, the fuzzy match appears. 99%, only one word has been taken away. But as you can see, this took like 2 or 3 seconds, which gets a bit annoying, if you have to translate so many lines at once. So, this is why I implemented the caching feature. So what it basically does is, while I'm working on this line, it already starts looking up a machine translation. It queries that from the machine translation computer, the neural network right over there, the purple screen. And it also queries the database to see whether there is an exact or fuzzy match. And once you do that, well, suppose I'm here battlefield. Okay, I've translated this. I go to the next line. That's line 4. Why you should join EA Play. I think a bit, I edit a bit, and then I go to the next line. And now watch what happens. The result appears immediately because Cattitude has already looked it up while I was working on line 3 and 4, meaning that I don't need to wait for 2 or 3 seconds anymore. The only disadvantage of this method, though, is that in some rare cases, the translation of line 5 could actually be influenced by the translation of line 4, which was not done yet when line 5 was being looked up and queried on the neural network, a respectively database. So to avoid that, what I've basically done is if line 5 and line 4 in this case are exactly the same, if line 5 is an exact match of line 4, it will not cache. It will just copy the translation from line 4. In all other cases, you know, fuzzy match, for example, then it will actually cache. And though in very rare cases this will not give perfect results. For example, if this line is very similar to line 4, if line 5 is very similar to line 4, and you know, maybe results in like a 98% match of line 4, okay, well, then you won't see that. Still, you can still manually, you know, re-get set machine translation from the database. But for that, you have to press an extra button. All in all, though, this speeds up the translation a great deal, makes working in Cattitude a lot faster because, you know, those 2-3 seconds for every line really start adding up. So let's just finish this translation very quickly. The only difference here is that the word plus was taken away. And I think it wasn't even mentioned in Dutch in the first place. So chances are this will just stay exactly the same. Wist je dat leden toegang krijgen tot inkeer, speciale beloning van en de proeven, plus toegang tot een plus toe. Ja, dat is oké. Tot een verzameling top die vakanties. It sounds perfect. Okay, let's just go to the next line. And it says, no, you're not allowed to because challenges should be translated as challenges. When it comes to the Battlefield franchise. Yes, this is true when we actually discuss in-game menu options and stuff like that. But in this case, that's not the case. So let's just ignore this terminology warning and go to the next line. There we go. That was an exact match. Here we see some really bad segmentation. Roep je Titan up. It's actually the same as above and only the word or. As you can see above is scrapped. Star Wars. That too is really badly segmented. Let's just copy this from the left using Control right. And knal weer. Blast off. How to translate blast off? Stijg op. Stijg op. Of maybe just vlieg, yeah, because this is about Rocket League and Rocket Arena and this is a game in which you fly, right? So vlieg naar een wereld waarin raketten over alles heersen in Rocket Arena. Yeah, sounds good. Okay. That was an exact match, and that was an exact match too. So if I now F5, you know, everything should be translated, and I can simply export the translation. And now we have a second file in our translation directory. It's this XLIF file, and this I can then import in Electronic Arts' own tools again. But this is basically how it works. So 2 new features, caching, which really speeds up your work, and the fact that you can hover above patched matches to get more information about these kinds of matches. That was it for today. Hopefully I'll be back soon with a new feature, new video about new nifty features in Cattitude. As for now, I would like to thank you for watching. Have a good one and game on. Goodbye.